sandy this soil is. If I could speak right. This is very sandy, and I'm going to start some Blue Lake green beans here. So I'm going to take and work this into this sand so it has a little bit more nourishments to it. And we're going to add natural compost. We're going to add the rabbit manure when she comes out back out in a few minutes and changes the rabbit. When we clean up the chicken pen, stuff like that, we're going to add that in, and I'm going to hoe it and mix it into the soil, and then I'm going to plant some Blue Lakes here. I got the seeds today. These were tomato plants, and they just didn't take. They didn't do well after the transplant, so Mom has some bell peppers and things like that she's going to use these for. So these are just, not everything takes. That's how it happens with anytime you plant something. Sometimes it takes and sometimes it doesn't. So these were fails. These are 2 jalapenos. This is my zucchini. My squash didn't take either, but I do have zucchini. I had some next squash that made it about that big, and then it didn't take. I don't know if it got too dry or what. This one was in the sun, so that's why she's moping, because she was in the sun. And tomatoes like partial shade, so that tomato is drooping, but this tomato is happy. This tomato is doing wonderful. And these are a heirloom black tomato. I have to see if I can find the seeds packet for it, but it's a black marbled, like a deep red tomatoes. That's what all of these are. That's another tomato. There's another tomato not doing as well, and they were all done about the same time. You see how just some take better than others, and I'm not sure why. They're started at the same time. They just, depends on where they are in the sun and how much water they're getting. And then these were actually green onions that I bought at the store, and I just chopped off the tops and started the bottoms, the roots, the little white roots of your green onion, and started them in a little seedling tray until they cut enough root, and then transplanted them into this bucket. I'm going to double check and make sure this one's acidity is high enough. That might be why he's stunted, because these all came from the same seed starts, and you can see how different they are. All depends on what their sunlight is and their water intake. But they're all pretty happy right now after all that rain that we just had yesterday and the day before. We had quite a bit of rain. Vented lid on it. I'm actually going to use this to save our food scraps and stuff like that. Chickens are actually omnivores, if you didn't know that, which means they'll eat any kind of leftovers. They actually love noodles, like leftover spaghetti noodles, because it's like worms for them. The daughter. These are the Blue Lakes beans that I'm going to be planting over there. Now we have 2 rows, and I'll plant the seeds in them.